NoDQ.com.
Greetings to everyone in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ video here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRift.NoDQ. I have your questions from twitter.com/AaronRift using the hashtag NoDQturns20. So let's go ahead and get started today. First one comes from Chris. I'm expecting the highly unlikely in all likelihood answer, but I gotta ask what a lot of people are wondering. Will we see one final match from Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 35? I think he can go at age 53 and put on a near 5-star match in the shape he's in. Coming off of this week's Raw, that is definitely what people are speculating about. That has been the talk of Raw. Will Shawn Michaels finally come out of retirement and face The Undertaker one more time? I am not expecting it to happen. I think it's a long shot, as you said, highly unlikely in all likelihood. I feel like the segment on Raw was designed to get people interested in Triple H versus The Undertaker, but keep people wondering what's going on with Shawn Michaels. Could he play a role in the match in Australia? Could that even potentially set up something with Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker? I'll believe it when I see it. Anything's possible. Shawn could come back. He could face The Undertaker one more time. Anything's possible, but it's one of those deals where I will believe it when I see it. Got this one here from Omar. Hey Aaron, I have a feeling that Shawn Michaels will come out of retirement to challenge The Undertaker at the Saudi Arabia show in November, avenging the loss of Triple H. Your thoughts? This, I feel, is more unlikely than WrestleMania. If Shawn is going to come back, I feel WrestleMania would be the place. It's all about the opportunity and the timing. When is the best time for Shawn to return? Now, WrestleMania is still quite a ways away. However, Saudi Arabia, doing another show there, to me, it's not big enough for Shawn to come back and do a match, in my opinion. I think WrestleMania would be more fitting, and I think if Shawn was going to come back, he would do it at WrestleMania. Maybe him and Undertaker have one final match, and then Undertaker retires, and that's it for both of them. They both go off into the sunset. I would be really surprised. More about Saudi Arabia than WrestleMania. Both would surprise me, but definitely Saudi Arabia I think is a real long shot, even though it's coming up in the fairly near future. Got this one here from King Turbonius. Who's better on the mic, Undertaker, Triple H, or HBK? That is a tough question to answer. I'm sure people will have different opinions on this. I think all three are great, but I think when you look at the three of them, Undertaker is more about the character. He's great at delivering his lines when he's playing his character. He's really solid, but I wouldn't say he's one of the best promo guys of all time. He's up there, though. Shawn Michaels is definitely one of the better promo guys in WWE history, but I think when you look at his career, people remember Shawn the most for his in-ring performances over his promo skills. He's still great, though. Shawn is an all-time legend, and I'm not sure what just happened there in the background, but we keep going here. And as far as Triple H goes, Triple H is great in the ring, but I think when it comes to promos, Triple H is right up there after The Rock and Ric Flair as far as being the greatest talkers of all time. Triple H knows exactly what to say. He knows the audience. He knows what he needs to address when he goes out there, and his delivery is always top notch. Triple H, he's always on. He is the game. He's game on when he goes out there and he picks up a microphone. So I have to give the slight edge to Triple H of those three when it comes to the verbal skills. Overall, I have to give it to Triple H. All right, this next one comes from Kyle Allen. Once the Daniel Bryan and Miz feud is done, with Miz getting over, I think, would you put Daniel Bryan with Nakamura in a program? Probably not. I think the Miz-Bryan feud should last for most of the remainder of 2018. And then going into 2019, I think Bryan should be built up towards a match with AJ Styles, unless WWE is going to revisit Bryan and Miz at WrestleMania. But looking at WrestleMania, I think it has to be Bryan versus either AJ Styles or one final match with The Miz. So depending on how that goes, I could see Nakamura possibly being in between there somewhere, but I think it's unlikely that they have like an extended program. I just don't see there being time to really do that. So if there is a Bryan Nakamura match, I think it'll just be like a one-off on a pay-per-view, or maybe at the Royal Rumble, or they'll both be in the Rumble or something like that. I think it would be better to maybe have Bryan win the title from AJ Styles and then feud with Nakamura after WrestleMania. To me, that seems like a better time to do a Daniel Bryan Shinsuke Nakamura program. Got this one here from I've Got Kids 33. In your opinion, why is Cody Rhodes so over in the Indies? He's average at best in the ring and on the mic. Is it his bloodline and past poor booking that attracts fans, or just fans wanting to get behind somebody not in WWE? I think you more or less answered your own question there. I do agree with you. I think Cody is solid, but I do think people tend to overrate him a little bit. People saying Cody should be a WWE main eventer. He's the NWA World's Champion now, which is great for him. I'm happy for him. He's living the father's dream. He's the guy carrying the championship and bringing prestige back to that championship and that lineage that the NWA title has. So good for him. I would not put Cody on any top 10 list as far as being a great wrestler or a great promo goes, but overall he's very solid, and I think that because of the bloodline and because he's working so hard, I think people respect the work he puts into what he does and the fact that he took this chance with All In, and people have been behind him for a while. I think people definitely see the guy as a really hard worker who puts in the time, and you have to respect that. And I do think he's one of the hardest workers in the business and deserves the success that he's having. Got this one here from Trillamania. Who's going to face Cody for the NWA title next? This is a tough question for me to answer because I really don't follow Ring of Honor or New Japan all that much, so I'm not sure if there have been any seeds planted as far as a future program for Cody goes. I'm guessing Nick Aldis will get a rematch, and they'll do one more match with those guys at least after that. There are a lot of possibilities. Maybe we'll see Chris Jericho versus Cody for the NWA title. I'm not even sure if Cody has ever faced Jericho for a championship. Maybe the IC title. I don't remember. Maybe Greg Cherry would know the answer to that one. But I don't think Jericho has ever competed for the NWA's World Championship, or is it the NWA World's Championship? They have the S at the end of World. That would be an interesting match, Jericho challenging for the NWA World's Championship. Maybe even champion versus champion, Cody versus Kenny Omega, NWA World's Champion versus the IWGP Champion for next year. So I'm thinking ahead to that ROH New Japan show WrestleMania weekend. Maybe one of those two matches I just mentioned would be a huge main event to do at that show. Got this one here from Mr. Yuck. Is Mike Kanellis the most underused star on the whole WWE roster? He looked to be in great shape during the Raw pull-apart brawl. If his wife returns, might a feud with Miz and Mrs. help him break out? Well, he's that underused that you're not even sure how to spell his name correctly. Mike Kanellis, I think, is a guy that just came in at the wrong time when the roster is already overcrowded. He got to leapfrog past NXT because of his wife, let's face it. I think he could benefit from going back to NXT, as I have talked about before. I think that that could do him really good to go back in NXT and just rebuild his character. It's possible that him and his wife, they'll be put on television again. I would not rule that out, but they could very easily get lost in the shuffle again. So facing The Miz, that some might see that as a step down for The Miz. And I think, there's only so many of these Miz and Maurice versus another couple storylines that WWE can do. So I think that one is a long shot. I think Mike's best option is to go back to NXT for a while. Actually, not go back, just go there, period. And just rebuild his character and develop something new instead of this whole power of love, whatever they were doing with Mike and Maria. This one comes from They See Me Rollins. Why is Brie Bella on Raw when she has a storyline on SmackDown? Why are the Bella Twins still a thing in 2018? I thought we were in a new era for women's wrestling. Why go back to the Divas era? Seriously, my head hurts. Well, Caitlin, who's a fan of NoDQ in the channel, I think will not be too pleased with your comments there. Why are the Bella Twins a thing in 2018? Let's face it. Total Bellas, Total Divas, those shows have been successful, and the shows have resulted in more female fans tuning in and watching WWE and spending money on the product. And that's what WWE is trying to do. They're trying to attract people from all different walks of life, and WWE definitely wants to increase the female viewership, and that's what Nikki and Brie do, and that's where they have that value for WWE, the fact that they do draw in more female viewers. As far as why Brie is on both shows, that I don't really have a good answer for. I guess the idea is she's like John Cena. She's a free agent and she can go on either show. WWE wanted to do the mixed tag team match, take advantage of that. Bryan is already feuding with The Miz, so why not? Why not do that match and just get it done, get it out of the way? And Brie is part of Evolution, so WWE's like, well, let's give them a match on Raw, build up Evolution, and they're going to do what they're going to do. Brie's got the free agent thing, and yeah. It would be nice if WWE had these people stick to one show, but what else can you say? WWE does what they want. Got this one here from Rollins versus Styles, please. Who has had the better series so far? Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa or Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada? I think I finally got his name right. I think it's definitely an opinion that people will have. Some might go with Gargano Ciampa. Some might go with Omega Okada. I think in terms of match quality, I would give it to Okada and Omega slightly. I think as far as the overall storyline goes, I think I would go with Ciampa and Gargano. I think that they've told a little bit of a better story that's maybe easier to follow for casual viewers. Just the whole storyline of betrayal and revenge and all the things I've talked about in recent videos. I think it just depends on what your criteria is, and I think if you're Dave Meltzer, you're gonna go with New Japan, but I think for some of the fans watching this video, they might go with the NXT feud. So it just depends on what you're looking for. But story-wise, I'd go with NXT. In-ring quality, I'd go with New Japan. Got this one here from Interstate Kyle. Hey Aaron, does Vickie Guerrero deserve to go in the Hall of Fame? She was a character for nearly a decade and one of the few people to get legit heel heat, something you don't see much of today in sports entertainment. Absolutely, and I go back to the Coco Beware rule. If Coco can go in, anybody can go in. But Vickie, if the WWE Hall of Fame was meant to be taken really seriously as the most elite of the elite going in, then Vickie might be questionable. But she was a great performer. She definitely exceeded expectations. Eddie passed away and WWE gave her a spot on television and she took the ball and she ran with it. She became a great performer. She was a great heel. So yeah, as far as non-wrestlers go, I mean, she really did a great job. She was general manager. She was part of some major storylines with Edge and Dolph Ziggler. So I think as far as entertainment value goes, yes, and I think she would give an entertaining speech. So I think the odds realistically are very strong that she goes in. And, whatever. Give it to her. Give her the moment. I say why not. I think she earned it. That'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ Video. Thank you for watching as always. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest wrestling news and rumors. And I will see you guys next time.